have to sing the theme
We need
song.
a new bunker song. Yeah.
We need a new one?
Yeah.
Okay, source one out.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, and 1. The Bunker Project is brought to you by Okanagan Springs Brewmaster Black Chocolate Robust Lager. And today we're talking about podcasting, the podcasting troll, and a ton of other stuff, including Samsung copies Apple again, and Twitter management tools. All that and more coming right up. All right, and I forgot to mention that there's this game that everybody's talking about, and I'll just start off with voicemail feedback from Norm.
Hey Mavens, it's Norm. Welcome back. And I just wanted to leave a message for James. 2 words, Flappy Birds. Have a good night. Bye.
All right, what's your initial thoughts on Flappy Birds, James? We're going to get into that again with James a little bit later. But
Wait.
Oh, but before we do, thanks Norm for saying welcome back. We're back.
We're back and better than ever. Mm-hmm. We're missing Bob Garlic though.
Yeah, Bob's still out of commission. His doctor said that he shouldn't be going out, so he needs to rest and drink lots of fluids that don't
Take that
involve
penicillin
black beer.
Well, apparently he's doing his own crazy hangout right now. So, anyways, maybe you should. Did you tell everybody what your name is? For our listeners that may have just stumbled on this episode for the very first time.
My name is Andrew McGivern.
And what's your pod?
Twitter handle is Podcast Hero, and I've also got Andrew McGivern. At Andrew McGivern, that's just a personal one. I don't use it very much.
Yeah.
And we'll do a roundtable introduction. But the first question, I think...
what is he talking about, though? His question, he just said Flappy Bird.
He said
is that some sort of
words. Flappy Bird.
Norm, I know we love you and everything like that, but is that like some sort of threat?
No, he's just saying because everybody's talking about
Flappy Bird, that thing that was like super popular for like 2 weeks.
Isn't that a euphemism for not getting your
And the guy pulled it down.
Because it was too addictive.
That might have been one of the reasons, Yeah. So, Norm, if you're listening, which I know you are, Flappy Fish.
Thank you.
What is going on over there?
Fish.
It sounds like some sort of weird sex act.
All right, so let's do the roundtable introduction. I'm going to play another feedback from Norm, and that'll be our question for everybody.
But Flappy Bird's pretty cool. We'll talk about it in a bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about it during the Gaming with James segment.
If you have a phone that has Flappy Bird on it, you can sell it for almost
$1,000. Yeah, I saw that on eBay. Yeah,
well, we'll talk more about that later. Listen in.
All right, here's Norm again with another question.
Hey Mavens, it's Norm again. I was looking on CNET and I read an article about the upcoming Galaxy 5 and looking at what they're describing as potential specs. I can't believe Samsung did it again. Something about fingerprint reader. I mean, when are they going to stop copying Apple? Anyways, just an interesting observation. Samsung did it again. Bye.
I like how he closes that. Samsung did it again. All right, let's start with Sam.
Wait. I didn't actually say who I was.
No, but you're first.
All right, okay,
yeah. I said.
All right, we'll start with James.
James Carg at twisted_magic MAJIC. I put the magic in Twisted Magic or the J, and download the Bunker app on Windows Phone and tell us how terrible it is. Anyways, next to this, we're gonna go with this lovely gentleman.
Well, why don't you just say? Do you think that Samsung copied Apple?
No, they always copy each other. Like, God, that's like telling Burger King they copied McDonald's again by having fries. Like, geez, they have fruit smoothies. We have fruit smoothies. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many people use a fingerprint reader.
Well, first of all, it wasn't the first fingerprint reader.
No.
Motorola.
It's been hacked already, hasn't it? I thought I read somewhere that it's been hacked in the first week or something.
Biometrics is like not super difficult.
Yeah, I think they fixed that though. But
I do have some dirty news, but I've heard that people have been able to use other parts.
You can use almost any part.
Yeah. So you'd use a tongue if you really wanted to.
So it's not a true fingerprint reader then.
No, it doesn't actually look at.
It's
No.
Print reader.
Yeah, it's just some sort
It
of
just
pattern
recognition. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually check in the biometrics, the circles or anything like that.
So what's that phone doing in your pants? That's what they're doing. I was wondering what they're doing with that.
So
collecting statistics for Facebook.
You're just happy to
you don't
see
think
me.
that they're copying them? Okay,
I don't think they're copying them. I mean, like with any of this technology, a lot of it is just becomes so incestual that it's like if you have, a big screen, they get a big screen. Does that mean that Samsung or Apple is copying Samsung?
Yes.
Okay. maybe from that over there, but it's just sure, if it's indistinguishable.
Yeah, well,
it's
it's like
feature
okay, so
it's like exclusive to your phone. Then
so
maybe
Coke has a glass bottle, and Pepsi gets a plastic bottle, and Coke.
Well,
goes to
Samsung
plastic
doesn't
bottle.
have anything like iTunes at all. They've got the Play Store, but it's nowhere near the same.
The Play Store isn't theirs; it's Google's.
Okay, well, yeah, but they
don't have their own marketplace.
Bottom line is, if you go all the way back until we discovered fire, pretty much everything else has been a copy or an improvement of some other idea.
Yeah,
so
it's an
thing is
It's
an
always
original idea. Somebody
There
sees
is
somebody
a-
else being successful with something, and they decide to make some money off it.
well, like I said, Flappy
Who
Fish.
copied who? It's
Well, it goes back.
ridiculous
Fingerprint
argument.
scanners in a phone goes back to 2000.
Goes back to Get Smart, from what I remember.
Yeah, there you go. And LG, I had an LG phone 3 years ago that had a fingerprint scanner, but it didn't like read it by touching it. It read it because you had to swipe it, and it was annoying because half the time it didn't work. If your fingers were cold, it didn't work. And
So yeah, I was checking for the size on the screen. It wasn't checking for. Okay, I'll have to look into more of the tech.
Yeah. Who cares?
Because it doesn't
Next
sound
generation will be retina scanners.
yeah, they've already.
Have they got them
Apparently,
up?
that's the rumor. That's
So
that,
people are going to
Apple's coming
steal
out.
your eye as well as your phone.
Yeah, like
Didn't
on
you
some
watch the-
movie where they pop your eye out with a spoon?
Didn't you watch the Avengers? That's
Yeah.
exactly what they
Yeah,
did.
exactly. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we've said before: is that Apple isn't really an innovator, but what they do is they come out with something and make it work really well for their platform, and then everybody thinks that they were the ones that did it.
I think it's going to end up just being like a chip or something that you have in your hand or somewhere on your body. You just scan it over your phone and that'll unlock it. It'll be eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a wristwatch or something. I don't know. They use what's what the what is it? The
It'll just be your
smartwatch.
your
There's a
body's-
cool
your
one. I
body's
heard a
signature.
Canadian company. I think they have a watch, but it measures your heartbeat and
Yep.
your vitals and signs. So it's really hard to copy because it's your key vital signs. So somebody else throws on the watch, it wouldn't work because it's the different vital signs. True, right?
Yep.
You heard about that, didn't you, Bonnie?
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so Sanj.
He sounds way better. on
Sanj Sukarkar at Genesis Designs, Twitter handle, website Maven. I think it's going to be very hard for Samsung and Apple to decide who's copying who, just because we still don't know. Microsoft, even after 30 years, has been accused of copying the GUI from Apple, and Apple's is being accused of copying it from Xerox. So it's going to keep going.
It did come from Xerox.
It did.
Xerox Park.
Yeah, because they gave him a tour and it was like, well, what's that? Well, we ain't using it. Okay. Can I
That's
use
right.
it? He didn't say can I use
So another 30 years later, we'll still have the same dialogue about Samsung and Apple.
it. So I found out something kind of
It could
interesting.
probably be different companies altogether.
Yep.
So I did find out something interesting yesterday that I don't know if anybody here knew. But do you know what the origin of HTML5 or HTML is? Where it came from?
No.
What's it?
Dark. DARPA?
CERN. It came from CERN.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it came from CERN, the guys that are doing the Higgs boson and stuff like that. It's created by Bernard Lee, and we've never improved on top of that design. We still use the same structure from the 1960s.
That's SGML then you're talking about.
Well, HTML is just
It's
based
a
off
subset
that,
of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Anyways, that's the big technical thing. So when we're talking about stealing stuff from each other, that's open source. So
Yeah.
But even that was a concept that was taken from other sources. Amiga had hypertext.
totally, yeah. The only thing he added was some other stuff, but I learned that from doing stuff on Treehouse.
Treehouse.
Yeah, Team Treehouse.
Cool.
Cool.
If you want to learn how to code and do stuff, it's pretty cool.
That's good. Kids are learning things at a young age now.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's kids, but it's if you need to learn how to do Ruby programming, they make you go through.
Treehouse?
Yeah.
Isn't that like the kids channel?
Well, yeah, you do get that as the first hit. The second hit is them.
Oh, okay.
So you can pay money. You can do their courses. You can learn how to build Android apps, Apple apps, Ruby, PHP.
Oh, I was
Python.
thinking the TV channel as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But so do you think it's a good thing they're stealing?
I don't think. Again,
You
it's
don't think
it's
it's
not stealing. I think it's like the gentleman said. It's improvising.
Yeah.
Do you write all your stuff?
No, like we do the same thing when my wife asked me once when we were dating, how do you come up with like new designs for websites? You don't. I mean, essentially, I used to have a subscription for a design and architectural magazine, and you just flip through stuff, and you just 10 or 15 different things you had seen over the course of the period. They come into your mind, and you create something. Is all of that original? No, but sometimes the client tells you that I like how the menus are in so and so page, and I like how the photo galleries are in so and so page, and you pretty much mishmash all of that.
Yep. There you go.
It is pretty funny when your client
Bonnie.
has to do that.
Your turn.
Well,
What's your name? Who was
oh,
your
Bonnie
dad?
Sainsbury at B Sainsbury, Twitter maven.
Women Talking Tech?
Women Talking Tech, yes.
Where you interview
I interview
sensational woman.
Yeah, sensational women using tech.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that you have to have invented anything. In fact, the person I just interviewed
No,
has
you don't
her
have
own-
to invent it, but you can copy it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And if you're just getting going, it's I want to know how you're using tech. So
Yeah.
I'm older than dirt, and most of that stuff has been around.
That's not true.
Yeah, I am.
That's not true.
I know.
You saw the first Ice Age?
The first wait, Ice Age? Yes, I did.
So you don't
No.
have to be a woman creating
first one.
technology, just a woman using technology.
Using technology.
The
That's
first
right.
Ice Age?
Well, there's
Yes.
a couple.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Ice Age 2.0.
I'm sure you've seen that movie a billion times since becoming a father.
No, he's too
Yeah.
young.
He doesn't watch Ice
Not
Age?
yet. I'm sure I will see it a billion times.
Deborah. No, I can't do a Ray Ramon.
Okay, so I was very young, but I remember when the first PCs, the IBM, we called them the IBM,
Yep.
when the first thing that didn't fill a room.
Mainframes.
I was 3, but I still remember it. And
Very cool.
luggables, I had a luggable.
Mhm.
I was 4.5 at that point, but I was a child prodigy.
So I got a weird question then for you. Do you consider a graphical calculator the first evolution of the cell phone?
no, I don't care. You
No?
just made my brain hurt.
Okay. I thought I'd throw that out there. I'm like, that's
Okay.
kind
Two
of
different
weird.
technologies.
Well, you
Yeah.
can program games for it and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not a cell phone, though. Maybe a
Well, but I'm saying, like, all these kids.
You're
are
talking
playing-
like the Texas Instruments with the red.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the
rectangular,
lights.
and
I
it's
have
got a
one of those,
circuit board.
Yeah.
Well, I got one, and I'll sell you.
Could you talk to it? Could it
It's got
talk?
some buttons.
Can't be a phone
You
if you
couldn't
can't
talk
talk.
to it, yeah. No.
But it wouldn't talk back.
But you could program for it. You could give kids
Nah.
cheat sheets.
Mateo
think-
does that. He actually picks things up and talks
That's
into
what I'm
them.
talking
Yeah.
about. It like
And sounds like people are talking back.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case,
Yeah.
yeah.
I used to love my Sesame
So
Street.
if I'm a Apple fanboy, Samsung is copying me. If I'm a Samsung fanboy, the other way around. Apple's following me. If I'm the other way around, Samsung is copying. You know what?
What about Windows Phone?
I like Windows Phone actually, and it's the only one that's sort of original.
The other option is just to scrap all the patents and let everybody play with all the technology and do whatever they want with it.
Then there's no incentive to develop new technologies.
No, I disagree
think
with
there's
you.
lots
What are you
of
talking
incentive.
about? Open source? Are you crazy?
No.
Money's the
Wait till
main
the
thing
first
that
Linux phone
drives
comes out.
everything in the world.
Just wait.
Ooh, a Linux phone. It's going to be, we're back to the big gray things again.
We kind of are a Linux phone with the Android.
Yeah, it's Linux based.
Yeah.
So
And we got the he used to be he called the conspiracy maven. Now he's the deep thought
The
maven.
deep thought
Maven
maven.
that changes on a weekly basis. I don't know. How did
Well,
you
it
come
was
up with
he used
that?
to be the conspiracy maven. That's what Bob named him. And then it turns out that
I'm not really a conspiracy
he's
guy.
not a conspiracy guy. And he said that the fact that we called him that was a conspiracy. So now he's the deep thought maven.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts? Twitter handle and all that stuff.
I guess my introduction, Antonio Amaro, artsytech.com. I do communication design. Twitter handle is artsytech.
Cool. And what do you think?
How do you
Samsung?
spell that, by the way?
ARTSYTECH.
Okay, I just had to check. Artsy Tech.
And your quick thoughts on whether Apple's copying Samsung or vice versa?
There's no such thing as an original idea.
No?
That's a conspiracy.
Why are you saying
That's a deep thought.
Nate?
Wow.
We just build on what we. One of the things I remember learning when I was learning code was the instructor. First thing he said, first lesson is steal code.
Yes.
No, it's not stealing.
No, it isn't. Adapt.
Borrow
It's boring.
code. Borrow.
Adapt.
You can take functions.
When
and-
we're working with technology, basically all we're doing is working with Lego blocks with different sizes, shapes, colors that do different things, and we're just piecing them together into something that fits whatever need or mood.
Well, I mean, I think that there are original ideas, but the thing is that people that are completely unrelated and not connected in any way tend to figure them out at the same time.
Sure, and when
It's like the fifth monkey syndrome or phenomenon or whatever it's
Oh,
called.
when you get 1,000 monkeys typing away, and one of them eventually is going to type out
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Or one of them.
I'm not sure it's quite like that. It's more like we learn from other things that we see around us, and it's like, hey, that looks good. Why don't I try it a little bit this way and see if that works? Or everything has in technology there are limitations and problems. So at some point, somebody comes up with a different way of solving a problem. So that's how that evolves. I view it as incremental. We just build on what's been done before.
Yeah, there's a really weird philosophical quote I heard yesterday, which is, we use metaphors a lot about things, but we are not experienced of those actual things that we speak of.
Yeah, it's kind of like the iPod.
That was so deep for the bunker.
It's kind of like you put the iPod
Am I at the right show?
and you put the phone and an iPod together and an internet browser together, and all of a sudden you've got the iPhone. It's like you got peanut butter and you got chocolate, and you put them together.
A banana.
Yeah. We're in the age of fusion. I just discovered a David's tea, and I'm going, holy smokes! There's all of these different kinds of teas that are just blends of different kinds of teas that I've been drinking for years, but just blended in completely different ways. So you have a whole range of new flavors. It's great.
And they charge you double for it, right?
Yeah, they charge you a fortune for it, those tin cans. But it's really nice. Somebody goes to all the trouble of mixing all of these different flavors till they come up with some combination that works, and they put it on the market. Technology is really not that much different.
Yeah, and the Rock God.
Hey, I'm Paul the Rock God. On Twitter, I'm at Paul the Rock God. International karaoke superstar. I'm not a maven. I'm a karaoke superstar. And my thoughts on the fingerprint readers, isn't it like just intermittent wipers? Like, eventually everyone's going to have it. And there's some guy making 27 cents per car that's made for every phone. Somebody's making 10 cents per fingerprint reader, and he owns the patent, and he's getting rich, and eventually it'll be on every phone.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that, and I think it's just another, in this example with the fingerprint scanner, it's just like the tablet. There were tablet PCs for, I don't know, years and years and years before Apple came out with the iPad. They just came out with something that was compelling, and people jumped on and changed the way people do things because it was easier to use than the other products. And so I think this is the same thing. They took an old technology and they made it work really smoothly, and now everybody thinks that it's theirs, and that Samsung's jumping on the bandwagon, that they're copying them. So.
Well, it's just like thin client right now. Everything's thin client again. It's back to the mainframe days.
Yes.
Like Bonnie remembers the mainframe days, like I do. And thin clients, everything, and then everything went fat clients, and now it's going thin clients, and then people realize they can't do everything they need to do on their device, and then they'll go fat clients again. And 20 years from now, we'll say, "Why did we have those tablets?" And
All right, we got somebody here now that just showed up. His name is
What's up, bros?
Not much. How about you?
Not much. I'm Marcel Lapointe. I'm not doing anything online anymore. Andrew, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
So I created
Nice shirt.
Thank you. It's yours. Scandal. I created a test Twitter account so that I could totally look at people's Twitter accounts and see who's following them and stuff like that. And I haven't put my name on it or nothing. But Andrew is my first follower. So am I so stupid at the internet that I didn't make it anonymous in any way, shape, or form? So how'd you do that, Andrew? Besides spying on me with your NSA technology?
I have no idea. I didn't even know I did that.
Yeah, you're my first follower. I was like, holy crap!
On which account?
Like this test account, I just
No,
opened,
which
doesn't-
Podcast Hero followed you?
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not even. It's like it's got an egg for a picture. It's an account that has done
No, I don't
nothing.
follow eggs.
You followed me.
The egg is a generic picture that they give all accounts.
I got an email.
Yeah, I know, but I don't.
I got an email saying Podcast Hero followed you on Twitter. So I'm like, oh, Andrew somehow must have found out it was me.
I sure it wasn't Podcast Hero 12.
No, it was Andrew McGivern.
All right. Well, I don't know. I'll have to look into that
Yeah.
and quickly
The other
unfollow.
option
It's a
is
mystery.
the other option is you got a virus on your system that pulls up all your contacts and
Yes.
starts farming them out.
How would they know I'm on Twitter then and to follow me? What would that have to do with the virus?
No, the Twitter app.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It could be something on your app. Could even be.
I don't
something
have an
that
app. I just was
something
on
that
my
just
computer
picks
and
up
I
your-
just registered an account on Twitter.
Could be something that just picks up your password right from your paste buffer. As soon as you copy and paste something, then it recognizes it.
But he's saying that I followed him though, right?
Yeah. So.
I usually don't follow eggs.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is this got
In
terrifying.
other words, you would not have actually clicked follow on Marcel.
Not unless I did
So
it.
that's what I'm
Not
saying.
unless I
Some
was.
other-
Well, because it was you,
Batch.
I just assumed that you magically knew it was me somehow. So I was like, how?
So who did you follow?
Nobody.
You never followed anybody?
No.
So you're saying I followed an account with an egg and no follower, and
Yeah.
and who hadn't followed anybody? I
But
never. would
maybe
do
he was looking at your account, and when you say it says who to follow, you're looking at Andrew, and then Andrew clicks who to follow on the left, and it knows you're looking at him, and
that. I never do
it
that.
puts you up.
I
at
do
the
everything
top
in
now.
Managed Flitter. Or,
I signed up to something
I never
recently
actually
called
looked at it.
Video, Vidaeo. I don't even know why I did. Somebody recommended it. So as soon as I did that, next thing I know, it's like a list of all of my contacts from
Yep.
Gmail. Invite these people. It's like, holy crap, I didn't even want you to read my email. What are you doing? Right? So that could be something similar that you've encountered.
So
Interesting.
Andrew, in conclusion, stop spying on me.
all right.
Get that camera out of his place.
can run,
Thing
but
is
you
that
can't
we
hide.
don't know who actually is doing the spying.
It's the NSA.
Yeah,
going
in-
through me.
No,
Yeah.
it's the CSIS.
It's a
CSIS.
conspiracy.
CSIS.
right.
In Canada, it's CSIS. And they do spy on us.
It's
Yeah,
CSIS.
of course, everybody
CSES.
Now that you mentioned their name, they are going
Except
to.
that
Well,
budget
now they'll
only
be
Okay,
allows-
so,
spying on all of us.
So the Rock God, he actually emailed in.
He did?
a
Oh.
topic that he wanted to talk about on the show today, and it was don't be a rock star guru on social media.
Yeah, I saw it. I was on CNN website, and they had a big article about this, and it said how everybody on Twitter is a maven or a rock star or a guru in their profile, and they were just wanting people to get better profiles, and not everyone can be a maven, but of course I'm a rock star, so I'm allowed to just call myself a karaoke rock star. But so, anyways, I thought, oh my God, I'm in a room full of mavens. What does everyone think about it?
Well, first of all, can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
No.
First of all, stop reading CNN.com.
Well, the first sentence of this article says, if you're a zombie aficionado, a web marketing guru, or a social media evangelist, you may be doing Twitter wrong.
Okay, first of all, never ever trust news sites to tell you what you should be doing on the computer.
No.
Because usually they're like 10 to 12 months back,
Yep.
possibly.
In technology, but in their understanding and use
Well,
of it, those
to-
people don't
Like
know
they're
what
they'll
doing.
probably they freaked out about Flappy Bird because they're like, oh my God, it's killing kids. It's like what?
To be fair, though, like Twitter is absolutely inundated with a bunch of people that claim to be experts on one thing
There's
or
lots
another,
of people that
but
claim
don't
to-
necessarily have anything to profit up on. It's just like I'm an expert at being on Twitter. There's a lot of people like that.
That's social media for you.
I
Yes,
feel
it
like
is.
that's
I have
totally
on my
disappointed by
Twitter
accident.
account, I get
That's
so
any
many
teacher
DMs with people who have like 3 followers who tell me they can get me 1,000 followers in like 24 hours.
Well,
I'm like,
those
why
are
don't you
those
get
are
them for
robots.
yourself?
That's different.
Yeah, that's.
No, but it's
those-
annoying though.
It is annoying. I think with the whole thing with ninjas and gurus and samurais and all these things, and the problem with social media having a lot of people who are doing this, it's that people think social media marketing is easy, and they don't realize that there's actually the marketing part, and that you can just learn how to use the technical aspects of a tool and become a guru, and
That's why you call 1-800-BON-BON.
yes.
It all
Yeah.
boils down to communication, and a lot of people who are not finding success are finding that it's the one-way communication that doesn't work. They need to have feedback. There needs to be interaction in order to get some results from your social media.
And if you have to tell somebody you're a guru,
Then
you
you're
aren't.
not. Exactly.
Yeah.
But why can't you
I
be
mean-
a guru? Let's say this person's a negative person and saying, "Oh, well, you can." When I was a kid, I was told I could be anything I wanted to be. So,
Well, you
why
can-
not?
You can tell people, but generally you don't.
Yeah, it's usually
And-
something that your community or your fan base or whatever is going to, name you that, right?
Plus, you should be using the buzzword of the day or the hour. And guru, what were the other ones? Evangelist, ninja.
Ninja.
I mean, that's so last month. Give me a break.
Oh, here's one.
Well, evangelist.
Tech warlock,
That's James.
interweb scholar.
What?
So I will.
Technomage, that was from Babylon 5.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay.
So I think though that like evangelist isn't a bad thing necessarily, as long as you understand what an evangelist is.
What about
Evangelist is just
brandgelist?
somebody's a salesperson.
Yeah, pretty much. But like a guru, that's somebody that has extensive experience.
Yeah,
Ninja shirt.
Well, what does that mean to
in
be
this
a ninja
article,
in technology?
in this article
Really?
though, it says that
You can chop things up?
No, a ninja means that you know all the you know the dark.
you
arts.
know the dark arts of Twitter.
You know the dark arts of social media.
Yeah, I can
To be
get
a-
you
to be a rock
1,000
star?
followers in 5 minutes.
to be a
You
rock.
can get you. They can do
Stealth.
all sorts of cool things and get you to have 1,000 followers without them even knowing that they followed you. Just like I did with Marcel.
Yeah.
Such a
I think the point of Paul's question is he's like, hey guys, is it okay that I say I'm a rock guru? Please vindicate me. Thanks. So we should do that, I think.
No, but he really is a rock god.
He's talking about.
I didn't give myself the nickname. People gave it.
Okay,
me the
yeah, but
name,
you
so-
really are.
So then I am. I
Yeah,
guess.
but in
Have you-
addition to that, he's got a double whammy because he's the rock god Maven.
Yeah.
No, I never said I was a Maven. I didn't pay my $5. So you had to pay
Oh.
$5 to be a Maven. I read.
No,
so
no, everybody's
I never
a Maven.
paid my. Oh,
Nope.
I am.
No,
okay.
but you just get
you
to
guys
choose.
have never called me a Maven before.
No,
always
you just
said
get
I'm
to
the
choose
rock
your
guy.
name if you.
We call you Paul the Rock
I have
God.
to double
Yeah.
check on a weekly basis what Maven I am. So.
Yeah.
But this guy here is just talking, like in the article, is just talking about how to differentiate yourself. Eventually, it's like
Yeah.
that's what it says.
Well, he's talking
Well,
about good
he's-
profiles, and he said Hillary Clinton had a great profile, and
He says to use
And-
bacon and booze. If you're gonna talk about stuff, like sure, like just put I like bacon, I like booze. Sure.
And if you want to, if you're listening and you want to know what we're talking about, I'll put the link to this article in the show notes because it's.
but I mean,
uh,
put relevant stuff. Like if you have a company, put at company name. Unless you don't want it to be associated with your personal Twitter account, then that's a really stupid idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But-
who makes Mr.
Andrew will
CNN
still
the judge
follow you.
anyways?
What?
Who makes Mr. CNN the judge anyways?
Well, no,
I agree.
Not
everybody's-
becoming less
Mrs.
relevant
CNN, I
anyways.
believe.
Everybody's-
Mrs. CNN does.
Everybody's got an opinion, right?
Yeah.
It says they can, if users don't like the result, they can click and reliably follow a foul mouth link to try again. I don't even understand that sentence.
if what he's getting at is you have to have an interesting bio, especially
Who looks at
on
the
Twitter.
bio? Are you kidding? You look that
Everybody does. Are you
No.
kidding me? That's how you
Yeah,
get
I
do.
followers.
Yeah, the
I
bio
do.
is very important.
People are
I
using
do.
these terms as
What?
branding
I just
strategy.
use Twitter way different.
It's like walking down the street and
You don't even
saying
have a
happy,
bio?
happy Chinese
have a-
restaurant and joy, joy Chinese restaurant and luck, and all these
Yeah.
words. These are all just keywords. Discover was chosen as a name for a credit card because it registered a certain degree of popularity in terms of
Yeah.
the English language.
Yeah. So I think
because you're using it to discover the world.
Yeah, but you're also
Right.
just spending money on
Marketing.
somebody else.
better than
Yeah,
having the
it's just like
bankrupt
branding.
credit card.
Yeah.
That one didn't go over very well.
But you have 160 characters. So if you say father, cyclist, location, the universe, I don't know who,
location
the
of the universe.
beep
Yeah. There's
you
so many
are.
people that do that.
and there's no way I'm going to follow you. I don't care what kind of a photo you have, how cute your graphics are, unless I know exactly who you are, what you represent. And if you can't do that in 160 characters, hire somebody.
Yeah. The citizen of the universe thing. That's a little bit. But the father thing.
But there's
I
lots
can
of
relate to that.
those. There's
Yeah.
no.
Father's fine.
I'll go
Yeah.
with father.
Yeah.
But if that's all you have,
If
father, bicyclist, and there is somebody out there that's his bio, and location universe.
But that's not too bad. What if he just likes to ride his bike and play with his kid?
Well,
What if
That's
he's only
cool,
gonna
but I
tweet,
don't
like,
want to
3
be his
times a week?
Twitter friend. I don't want to
Maybe
be.
he doesn't care.
Okay, that's fine.
This is what the guy's saying though in the article though. Is he saying that if it's what you're going to be tweeting about, put it in your bio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That. And
He's just saying it very clumsily.
Yeah, I think what he's the
This
point.
is a 3-page article. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
I think the point that he's trying to make is that don't be a douchebag on in your bio. Don't say that you're a guru and a ninja and
I
all
don't
this
know.
kind
Like,
of stuff.
hey, show your own personality. If you love ninjas, put it friggin' ninja. If you're going to tweet about ninjas,
if you
do
could
it.
say
Okay, but if you're looking, if this is a business account,
if you're going to tweet about ninjas,
this isn't about business.
okay, no,
We're really bleeding this topic dry.
but it's important.
It's a good topic.
Because if this is a Twitter business account and you want to attract a following for your business, for your blog, for your whatever, then you have to tell people who you are, because otherwise they're just never going to follow you.
In some cases, a ninja appeals to a specific market segment, so then they would use that.
Yeah,
if you're like
in other cases, if you're like an accountant, you don't want to. Well, you might want to put book ninja or something.
If you're like kind of an old-fashioned
you wouldn't want to
internet
put
marketer,
cook if
maybe
you were an
ninja would
accountant.
work.
No, what if you have a class for martial arts or something? Then like ninja.
Well, what
then
if you
that's
actually
different.
are a ninja?
In that
Then
case, that's different.
Fine.
if you practice the art of ninjutsu,
Twitter
I'm
ninja.
not sure
Yeah, then
ninjas
most
would have
people would
Twitter
not believe
profiles
you.
because they're supposed to be like fast and quick and on the deal.
I think Andrew has a point. Yeah, I agree. But I agree with Bonnie as well. If it's professional, keep it clean. If it's personal, keep it goofy. So James is right as
It
well.
doesn't have to
Yeah.
be goofy.
If
I'm
you're-
not
No, but
saying-
it's who you are.
Whoever you are.
You should always just be who you are, because there's too
Be
many
real.
people you talk to that are totally different than
Yeah,
their
you gotta-
Twitter, and you're
Yeah.
like, you're
But-
not friendly at all. Why?
But by the same token, what Marcel said also makes sense, because like don't try to make it more soppy. Like some people make it look too like they're emotionally blackmailing you. Like kind of recently divorced, and it kind of. I'm like, come on, who gives a shit?
I don't
right?
follow those guys. It's just like pictures of beer bottles.
Sounds like they're on the wrong site.
So to recap on my Twitter test account that Andrew's following, it says I'm a resident of the universe guru and cyclist ninja.
did you just put that in there? You should. You should.
Yes.
But what about the point about everyone calling themselves a guru or maven? Or
Oh, yeah.
ninja?
They
That's
aren't.
right.
If they have to say that, they aren't.
Oh.
Nope. I'm sorry.
No,
They
I
aren't.
agree with you. Yeah. And you want to say you're a magician now, anyways.
Yeah, that's the word of the day. So there you go.
An interweb scholar.
Yes,
I like that
interweb
one. That's my
score.
favorite one in
That's
there.
a good one. I like
Interweb
that.
Kind of an
scholar.
interesting kind of dichotomy there. I mean, you don't want to if you have to tell people that you're a guru, you're not. But then at the same time, when you're branding yourself, you have to tell people that you're a guru. Otherwise, they won't.
I prefer
Fake
the
it till
word
you make it.
expert.
Well, whatever. Exchange guru for whatever you want.
Okay, but what you can do is tell them about what other people have said about you.
Okay, when you use
So the thing
Like
about
Bonnie can say listed in Forbes. She doesn't have to say anything else,
Yeah.
right?
You can always have a link to your actual profile and then call yourself a guru there too.
Sure.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
lots of people check your webpage too.
Well, I
Yeah.
think part of what you're saying too is if you are going to brand yourself as a guru, you need to be able to back it up.
yeah.
Yes.
So you can say that you're ex-maven, conspiracy maven on Bunker Project.
I don't
Or
think I'd
the
use
deep-
those terms, but
no, but
I
the
get your
deep dark
point.
maven on Bunker,
dark
and then
maven.
you're not calling yourself a maven.
what I should
the
do.
Bunker Project is.
I should
That's
have a
right.
program, random
yeah,
terms
cool.
that come in. So every time it comes up, it's a different term for Maven.
Hey, don't blame me.
That
No,
would be a
that
good
works.
idea. Sure. Keep people
Just as long
guessing.
as somebody else said it.
Is that some kind of Maven?
Okay,
All right,
what else we got?
Well,
Also-
while we're on the topic of Twitter,
Well, also you're a guru only if you teach people. If you're just using it as a one way.
well, you know,
guru.
the reason why we started calling people mavens here is because we came from Malcolm Gladwell's
It's tipping point.
Yeah.
where it's a maven is someone who has a lot of knowledge about a topic and wants to share it, with the world, kind of thing. So that's where we got that from.
Well, you've got the Maven connector, the
And the salesman.
salesman.
But the whole group decided that was what you were. Because if I said I wanted to be a I don't know, fashion maven, you'd all go, "Puh, I don't think so."
Well, you do
Right?
have a pretty cool haircut.
I wouldn't have
Okay,
said
but
anything.
other
If you
than
wanna
that-
call yourself a fashion maven, I'm okay with that.
Oh, okay. You don't get out much.
Paul was right. It used to be $5. You could be called whatever you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. But you get
We started with
some
mavens
kind of-
because Bob loved the word maven.
Well, there
That's
you
got
go.
a good sound to it.
Maybe
Yeah.
Andrew loved the word maven too. I think it was.
Yeah,
Bob.
yeah, we like the word.
That
word
works,
maven.
but it might be. Like
But now everybody's
so last
using it,
month.
so now it's like it is so
Yeah,
last month.
it is so
We got to
last
change
month.
it to scholar.
We
Well,
got to
that
be
was 4 years
hip and
ago.
happening.
That was 4 years ago.
This
bro.
is the game scholar, and we got the Twitter
The
scholar,
Twitter scholar.
and the great idea
The deep
scholar, and the
deep-
deep thought.
Yeah.
No, Bob's the great idea guy,
Okay.
right? Great,
Deep
the great idea maven.
Yeah.
So I
Okay,
should change my
so
name
while
to
we're
Zach
The
Handy.
missing maven.
while we're on the topic of Twitter, we got another voicemail feedback, and it's Paul, but he's here now, but he also called it in just so he wouldn't forget it.
Yeah, let's do it now.
Hi, this is Paul the Rock God at
Hi,
Paul
Paul.
the Rock God on Twitter, calling from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, for the Bunker Project. And my question to all the Twitter mavens out there is, I just started using justunfollow.com. I was just wondering, is anybody else using it? And does anybody have any tips that I should on how to use it to make it work well for me? So anyways, I look forward to hearing your responses. Let me know. Bye.
All right, so I know Sanj put his hand up. I've played with it a while back, and after I saw your voicemail feedback, I went into it and looked at it again. I saw that it's actually got a lot of the same features
It's exactly the same as it was.
Managed Flitter.
Yeah.
We talked about it 2
It
years
looked
ago.
like Managed Flitter is a little bit more in depth with what you can do, a little
Yeah.
more comprehensive. But
I did find one problem. Like, it has a thing to grow your following, and you put in a keyword. So I put in like karaoke, but everything that came up, all the people that it popped up, none of them were karaoke people.
Yeah.
So I didn't find it that good. So I don't know how it was doing that. Like, it didn't work very well. I can go into Twitter, just type in karaoke and search and see the people, and I get real karaoke people.
What if you try pound karaoke?
on
hashtag.
I didn't actually try that.
I was just thinking out loud.
Probably
Yeah,
lots of
that's
ironic
cool.
uses and drunk teenagers.
Yeah.
But one thing I must admit, I have a confession to make. I kept following Paul and unfollowing him. The whitelisting, if you're going to whitelist somebody, like say if I wanted to whitelist Paul, you have to do it like in Managed Flitter, just unfollow and everything else that you use. Because if you're using 2 or 3 different tools, you might end up doing what I did, like follow, unfollow, and it's kind of makes you look bad in front of the other person.
Yeah, I pissed off a lot of people with stuff like that when I was on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys.
I like Managed Flitter.
Yeah, I was
That's the
wondering
only
why you
one I
weren't
use.
following me and Bob. I was going to kick Bob's ass, but he didn't because he's not following me anymore now.
So
really?
mostly unfollowing. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get that over the 2,000,
Well,
or
I'm
clean
out-
up your act?
Well, I
or-
have a few accounts, but I'm over 2,000 on one of them. But no, I just found that unfollowing was hard. When I was around the 2,000 was so hard in
Yeah.
Twitter. So I went there, and now I just got a list of. So I follow unfollow the oldest people, and then,
you sort of.
that aren't
Yeah.
following me. And
Yeah.
I noticed that there were some people I knew in there. Genesis Designs, and Bob Garlic. But so, anyways, it really helped. So it really saved me a lot of time for the unfollowing.
I
Then
like
I
it.
looked and it said, "Oh, it had grow your followers." So I thought I'd try that, but I didn't have much success with it. So that's why
I like Managed Flitter. Maybe it's because I've used it the longest, so I know how to use it.
But you have the pro version, right?
And is it
For
free
Managed Flitter?
or is there free?
No, I have the Pro use because I don't.
Okay.
I
I've got-
don't
You have a
use
lot of followers. You have a lot of
Okay,
followers.
but
so-
and I don't use a lot of different apps. I used to when I was growing my following. I probably had about 5 different apps that I used, and now I just
That's the
go
best
in there.
Managed Flitter. you
I
think?
Yeah.
use Managed Flitter pretty much exclusively
Do you?
too.
Okay.
Yeah, and I noticed when I hit around 5,000 followers that I started to get a ton of more followers. And I always go on Twitter and or on my smartphone on Twitter and I make sure I follow them back.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I know what they're doing. They're just looking for follows, right? A lot of them, because I think they see people that have like start to have a little bit of a following and that have equal, because that's what I do if I'm looking to get people. I do a search for for a keyword term, maybe social media or podcasting or new media or whatever, and then I also in Manage Twitter filter it so that I want people with a large following, but also have like say 70% of the people that they're following, they follow back, kind of thing. Yeah. So then I at least have a chance of getting a follow back. So that's how I've been doing it.
So another way is to find a thought leader, to find someone who is in the niche that you're looking for, and follow people they follow. Because
people they follow. Okay, I was looking at people that follow them.
No, because anybody can follow them. But if they're a thought leader, then you have to assume that they're following who they follow. They've already filtered it out.
Okay, interesting. Okay,
Manage Flitter will let you do that?
No, I just do that manually.
On Twitter, yeah.
It's just
no, I've done it, but I thought if somebody's following
does it do that?
someone similar to me,
you're right, it does.
You go into follow
look at their followers, and maybe they'll follow me
copy
too.
Followers or copy following.
So the other thing you can do in Manage Flitter,
but you have to have the paid $12 account.
Is you can go in and farm lists, and that's cool. So let's just assume it's Andrew, and Andrew has 25 lists that are public, and he's got 25 that are private because he doesn't want you to see some of this stuff. So you go in there, and Andrew has social media gurus, and he has podcast gurus, and he's got Vancouver people. Guess what? He just did a ton of work for you. So you can either subscribe to that list, in which case you don't follow it. They just come into your news feed, or you go through. So that's step one, as far as I'm concerned. Step two is you start seeing people that are producing good content. Then you follow them, put them in your own list, and just know that other people do this.
Okay.
So
they'll pick up from your list.
Yeah, so if you don't want them to farm from your lists, don't make them public.
Okay.
But you have to make enough public so that people think you're a nice guy.
Yeah, but you're giving back to the community as well.
Right? Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah. That's right.
Okay, no, thanks for the tips. And
that's about $400 worth of advice right there.
It is indeed about $400.
Now I'm going to go home and unfollow Paul.
So Sanj, you've used both tools, right?
Yeah.
And which one do you prefer?
I prefer Manage Flitter. Okay. But then when I'm in between appointments and on my smartphone and my tablet, I have just unfollow. Sure. And the good news is that it'll kind of do a notification up top saying 7 people followed you, 3 people unfollowed you, and then I can just look quickly and see if 5 people followed me, and if they are talking about petroleum products, then I don't care. But if they're talking about any tech stuff, then I want to follow back. General rule of thumb: if they are same thing. I do it sort of kind of. I just eyeball it. If they're, I on one account I have 2,000. If it's like somebody with 60 followers or something, I don't care. But if they're like 1,200 plus or 1,500 plus, then I feel like they've made some effort at it, and then I'll follow them. And I always look at the bio. Yeah, bio comes. Bio first. Handy. Yeah, bio first. How many people they have, and sometimes if it's 30, only 30 people. But they have a really interesting bio, I'll follow them. Mm-hmm. If you've got 30 people and 20,000 tweets, there's not a snowball's chance in hell. No. But, okay, so is part of your strategy when you're looking at following people, is it so that when they follow you back, if they have a smaller list of people following, then they're going to see your tweets a lot more than some, like, for example, you've got 120 or 15 or I don't know. I don't count. No. Well over 100,000. So, I put out a tweet. You're not going to see it in unless you've got me in the list. Or that's right. You're just not going to see it. The chances of you seeing it being there on your screen when it goes through are almost zero. No, it is zero. Yeah. Because I don't look at I only look at lists. Yeah. But now I go through, and when I was building my list, I couldn't. Mm-hmm. No, I did, because I would go in and farm someone else's lists. That's how I got to 100,000. And then the second thing, this is the other $400 worth of
Free advice.
is if you're following Andrew or you're farming Andrew's lists, then you start retweeting Andrew because you're in there farming his list and you're his good buddy. So guess what? They're going to follow you back.
Yeah.
So there's the other $400 worth of yes.
Yeah, I like what Bonnie said. If you're gonna mooch off somebody, give something back. At least make them a hero. I saw a real.
Did I not retweet all the Bunker Project people? I go and look at everyone's profiles.
You did.
Except James doesn't have that. He only tweets once in a while, so I have to wait for a good tweet. But I did in this last week. I think multiple days.
That I agree.
And that good articles. Only articles that I read and I approve of.
You do. I've just kind of been slacking on my Twitter lately. I've been more focused on learning how to code Ruby. So.
And he's learning it all from a children's TV show.
No, it's not from a children's TV
Sitting
show.
on teeny tiny little chairs and teeny
now
tiny
I understand
little
why the
tables.
Bunker Project
TeamTreehouse.com. Check it out. It's awesome.
But sometimes, also, since we're talking about Twitter,
Use the referral code James sent me.
You have to
Just
scratch
kidding.
your head and also go, at what point does it actually start paying you back? Meaning, okay, you're obsessed about creating a following. You have 5,000, and then you have 7. Now you have 10. But is that making you money? Are you, the time that you're putting into it? What do you guys think about that?
What?
Okay, you should be paying attention in class. No, we're talking about followers and about, like, say, if you have 5,000 followers or 7,000 followers and 10,000 followers, do you guys feel
Or
like
1,200.
do you guys feel sort of frustrated that it's like the amount of time and effort that you're kind of babysitting this account? At what point does it start paying you back? Like in my case personally, I've gotten maybe some fixer-upper jobs here and there, nothing to be proud of. But how do you when
I got to go into a bar with the big line.
For me, it's
That's
just
when it
been
paid off. I was like,
communicating
yes.
with people that
Yep.
that I probably wouldn't have otherwise.
Hanging out
It's
with
like
Gary
starting
Vaynerchuk.
relationships and things like
Yeah,
that. I
but-
did make this just last week. I tweeted a mighty deal, and I made $4.56.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. 'Cause
I don't think it's one-to-one. I think it's just a matter of one more way to be famous. And if you've got 15 or 20,000 reasonable followers, that is not all spammers, people are going to look at you differently than if you have 1,200.
Yeah, because
Well, I noticed it was getting to be a problem
got
for me,
1,200.
the time-wise, when I started getting over 1,000 followers on my accounts, and I have multiple accounts for some of my websites, and that's why I got into the unfollowing was an issue when you start hitting the 2,000 barrier, right?
Yeah.
And
That's hard.
So that's when So once I cracked out on one of my accounts, rock God, I'm close, I'm getting there, but
Okay, but is there a wrong way to do it? Like, let's say, is it just a race to the 2,000, and you can do it any way possible, or
I don't
or-
think so.
no, then you
No.
can only follow 10% more, right?
Yeah.
So
Like,
you
what
just
if
have
you
to be
do- what if-
careful,
what
but
if-
it's
No, what if you were to say go into Twitter, into Manage Flitter, and do a search for people who have like pound follow back, and
Those are
just
good.
follow all those people, because they're gonna follow you back, but it doesn't look at like I was looking at somebody's Twitter account and I was thinking, okay, it's a podcaster, does a show on podcasting, and I went to his following to look through his followers, and like 80% of what I could see was all that, and I just made just like
How about people he was following? Did you go through those? Because you can't do anything about people who follow you. So that's probably
true.
That's probably garbage.
But if they're
It could be
follow
garbage.
back,
True.
she's probably following them too.
Yeah, but the people that they follow and lists are gold.
Yeah.
Just gold, because they already did all the work for you.
So
Thank you very much.
so for someone who just wants to get up, into sort of, perceived respectable numbers in the thousands, would you recommend doing that kind of thing, like targeting people who?
So what is a
Follow back.
respectable number, by the way?
I think it's between 5 and 20,000.
Okay.
Probably closer to 20.
So once you get 500, you should feel good about yourself.
500?
5,000, she said.
Oh,
5,000.
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about the subject then because I'm not respectful.
But people don't take you seriously, and I really think you should build a good following.
Yes.
I agree.
Not go out there and buy them, not do the follow follow up or any of those. I didn't do that. That's not how I got to 100,000.
Yeah.
So
I
in
agree.
terms of the benefits of having 100,000, having the public awareness helps.
Oh yes, people sit up and take notice. And if they're a larger company or anybody who has money, there's 2 or 3 filters out there that will take a look at how engaged your following is. How is it a bunch of spammers? Does it look like I paid? I paid for it, and that would be a lot of people who have not many people who follower and following, but maybe have like 20,000 tweets because they just tweet the same crap all the time.
So the benefit for you would be in terms of your negotiations. You have a lot more credibility. You get better accounts, better clients.
Plus, you have a wider array of people to talk to, right? So if you have a better chance of them listening to you because they have some short period of time, 5 minutes to an hour a day, and on Twitter it's gone. I mean, it just it's gone. If I don't see, if I'm not on Twitter when you tweet about it, or you're not on one of my lists that doesn't move fast, then I'm going to miss it. So if you have 5,000 people, then you have less chance of people seeing your tweet, and you have less chance of having a broad range of people than if you have 20,000 people. Some of it is numbers.
So part of the strategy is top of mind, and part of the strategy is developing credibility by having a body of content that people can refer to and associate
both
with.
of those.
Well, I think the key takeaway is it's not about the number; it's about the quality. Because, like you said, you could have purchased 120,000 followers.
I could have,
but with one quick scan, they'd be able to tell that that's what you did, and they'd also be able to tell that there's nobody's seeing what you're doing because it's all robots.
Yeah,
it's not the
fake
size
accounts.
of the ship; it's the motion of the ocean.
Exactly, that's exactly it.
And
I disagree.
and you still lots of
So
days
deep.
You're not getting 100. Even they got 100,000 people, you're not getting 100 retweets on a tweet.
Yes,
right?
yeah,
Sometimes it's 5.
yeah.
Right? Or 20 clicks or whatever it is. Other times, there are higher numbers per tweet. So even though you've got 100,000 people and not very many of them are spammers, sometimes they just don't pay attention to you.
Yeah. Well, because there's a lot of noise on Twitter, right?
But if you get 5 or 10 or 20 of the right people, then it's gold.
Yeah. It's like Pat Flynn, smartpassiveincome.com. He was blogging for 18 months before the right blogger noticed him. So if he had quit before that, then it would have been a totally different lifestyle.
Yeah.
Got another question related to this from Norm.
Hey, Maven, it's Norm. I was listening to CBC Radio on the way to work the other day, and I thought it was kind of an interesting episode. They were talking about the use of social media by politicians, and they were pointing to a couple of folks in particular. I think they were pointing at is it Wynne or something, Premier Wynne from Ontario, that she got lambasted because she did an AMA and everything sounded really dry and stock. And they also talked about the finance minister being really lame too, and asking the question, what did people think about his tie or something stupid. And I think they were making some comment about the only politician that seemed to get it was Tony Clement, that the rest of them, the only time they ever worked on Reddit or did any social media was when there was an election or something big, and they didn't stay current. Anyways, I thought that was an interesting commentary on the use of social media. Thanks, bye.
Anyone have anything?
Thank you, Norm. Well,
when it comes to social media, I think politicians are probably the first people who should be well versed in using it.
I wanted to say, if you want to see good account, go look at Ninchi, the mayor of Calgary, Mayor Ninchi.
What about Rob?
Yeah, Rob Ford.
Oh, Rob Ford needs to get on Twitter. But legit though, I just want to quickly throw out there that like the Ask Me Anything thing on Reddit used to be like really exciting. It was like a corner of the internet where sometimes a big celebrity would come on and they'd really be like forward, and it would be a different kind of thing that doesn't feel like it's manufactured. But I feel like as of recently, Ask Me Anything has kind of just become a part of the mainstream to the point where celebrities will do it just in regular promotion of a movie, and they'll answer a few select questions, and it's just it's not this exciting weird thing anymore. It's now more of like they're starting to figure out they can just use it for their push for product, and
it's like Ask Me Anything as long as you tell me before, and I'm okay with it.
Well, they pick and choose the questions. They always have, but now it's just become a mainstream part of media. Like if you're promoting a thing, you just go, you answer a few questions. You don't even have to be particularly interesting. Like both the politicians referenced in that thing were doing Ask Me Anythings, and that's the thing. They're pushing their agenda or whatever. Like lots of big celebrities are. I see like 4 a week now, and it used to be a weird little culty thing, but now it's mainstream, and it's kind of lost some of the magic.
Yeah, it used to be like once a month. Now it is like 7 days a week.
But the magic's not there anymore because it's not as exciting or cutting edge. It's just standard questions now, and the occasional joke.
I mean, Stephen Harper's Twitter account sucks.
Yeah, but
you follow Stephen Harper?
I do.
Is Stephen Harper's Twitter account a robot like his?
I think it is. I think it's actually managed, but a lot of the times politicians don't actually manage their own Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
No,
they don't see this as an opportunity to communicate with the constituents.
No, but Mayor Nenshi, he runs his own Twitter account. Like
really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll follow him.
He's actually very entertaining. Usually, I mean, he does tweet a lot about Calgary, but I mean, he's the mayor of Calgary.
He should be.
What else is he gonna do? Yeah. He got in a really big war with some girl about sanding or something like that. It was like Deerfoot Trail, but he handled it in a way that was smart and was good for both parties. It made it made it over the mountains to me to actually see. So
Bonnie, if you were advising, say, Gregor Robertson,
can we switch it to Rob?
Wait.
Let's say he hired you as you.
We had her on.
Can I touch that? Can I touch that?
No. I just want to know.
If she's consulting for Gregor Robertson, the first thing she'd say is, "Don't use Hootsuite."
Yeah.
Stay away from conflicts of interest.
Yeah,
he
doesn't tweet for himself. He had that girl that was here.
Yeah,
she was here.
There's no
Chinese.
conflict. There's no conflict of interest with him with that. It's just that's a news story here in Vancouver. We should probably preface that they think that he did stuff with Hootsuite, but he didn't.
Okay.
So, anyways, would you use it?
That is like the biggest. That's the biggest scandal our mayor's ever had, probably.
No, it isn't.
God,
no.
Well, he didn't smoke no crack and stuff, right?
Oh no. We just like $2.2 million on bike lanes, and he closed roads for his buddy, and
Did he declare any day Bob Marley Day? No. We don't got a raw deal here. It's not bad.
Okay.
And he wants that $50 million pedestrian bridge or something to build over the water.
Anyways,
but despite his politics,
let's just leave that out and just say if the mayor of Vancouver.
Okay, but anybody who's going to be in the public eye, you have to be real because people are going to find out, and if you're a douchebag, then you're just going to be a viral douchebag. So
Rob Ford, he's real.
He is indeed.
He's got enough to eat.
So he should be like putting all that stuff up on Twitter too.
You know what?
Talking about his.
I think he would actually had a lot better like communication with the public if he did actually take to Twitter.
He has a radio show.
So as a politician, you're just you give the same advice that you give to anybody. Basically, is be authentic, put yourself out there.
Yeah, but authentic and politician in the same sentence. Probably
didn't Rob Ford just try to have his own YouTube thing that no one really cared about, and it was kind of amateurish and terrible. And before that, he tried a thing on public access television that was also amateurish.
I know, but it's a whole lot. But it's more fun to pick up your Android phone and catch him jaywalking or. Doing whatever the hell he was doing in Coquitlam. Never mind.
You had the whole bar in trouble because they were partying after hours, and that whole bar might get shut down.
So,
I think it's amazing he went to the Foggy Dew. I used to go to the Foggy Dew when I was young.
Yeah, I used to go there.
I didn't even know it was still there.
It's not.
Oh.
It's not called that anymore. It's,
okay.
It's something else now, isn't it? The Foggy Dew?
Yeah, it's still called the Foggy Dew.
But I still think that there's certainly there, just like everything else, there's potential for them to go wrong very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So there was potential for them to go wrong if they were on the radio, but it was only 1,000 or 2,000 people, and there was sort of no way to have it go viral. Now it goes viral. Just like everybody else, just
So
like brands that are doing dumb things, or the woman who was going to South Africa, the guy from Business Insider that said all women are dumb. What the hell are you going to do with them?
There was a guy that was from Sony crashing some party, wasn't it? No.
Okay, so it's the same, right?
So the takeaway is that social media is like alcohol. If you're an angry drunk. If you're an angry person, you'll be an angry drunk.
It's more like crack.
That's good. Oh, that's
one.
very deep. That's how
like
you got
that
to be the deep thinking maven. I love that. But you're right. It is. It just amplifies. Yeah.
It's better than the deep, dark maven.
And you should still, the same, like we tell everybody every time, know the differences between the social networks and how to use each one of effectively.
Yep.
Since we're talking about Twitter, has anybody used Sprout Social?
I have.
What are your thoughts?
If you have a team, if you have a proper commercial team, I like it better than Hootsuite.
Got it.
It's written better.
Oh, okay.
It has better code.
Content management system?
It's
Is that what it is?
It's
no, it's a social media aggregator.
Oh.
Well, for the uninitiated, we've talked.
Isn't that what Cloak became?
We've talked Hootsuite, manage Flitter into the ground. What is Sprout? And let's talk into the ground.
It's the same as
Planted one might
it
say.
isn't this. It is a competitor for Hootsuite.
You're an angry
Only it's
Sprout.
done better, and that was Bonnie Sainsbury that said that, and that is my opinion. So
Okay,
when you
cool.
take out a hit on me, I don't live in Kits anymore.
Where do you live now?
I'm going to move to
I have no
Poco
idea what's
because it's
going
more
on.
fun.
You're not moving to Poco, are you?
No, don't.
Okay.
I have no idea what just happened on the bunker project.
We were going to move out to, we went to look at a house over in, it's on 32nd and it was kind of way out there. I can't remember. Mackenzie?
That's not way
32nd Mackenzie?
Abbotsford is
Well,
way out there.
I'm thinking anything away from the SkyTrain is way out there. And so we went there. Valerie texted the guy saying that we're going to be a couple of minutes late, and he said, "Okay, I'm right out front." So we pull up, get out. You know, we have the two car seats, and we walk over, and it's this old Chinese guy. I took off market.
Oh,
And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, it's not livable. I don't want to waste your time. And then Valerie's like, you just did.
that's right. We're here.
So it's kind of weird. Like,
And he couldn't have told you that over the phone?
No, I think he just saw us with two babies and was like,
Never mind.
It's not like they're going to be having parties anytime.
But she told
soon.
him before that there was
Yeah.
like kids, but I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's really like dirty, and he's looking for students who don't care about.
Maybe he developed an instant conscience.
Anyway, I like Sprout Social. It makes sense for me. That's all.
Okay.
I don't use it anymore, but I often recommend it to companies that have like a team of 3 or 4 people because you can talk amongst yourselves, write little notes about I'm following this person or I'm doing something. So it does other things too, but that is something that I find interesting, and the analytics are good.
Cool. So we got one final voicemail feedback, and it's from Norm again, but this one I think is addressed to Bonnie.
Hey Mavens, it's Norm. So what's happening with Windows 8.1? Is it the death of 8.1? I've heard that next year they're coming up with a whole new one called Threshold or something like that, Windows 9. Anyways, what a failed experiment. Well, I guess we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, bye.
Breathe deeply, Bonnie. Breathe deeply.
So is Windows 8 and 8.1 a failed experiment?
What does that even mean?
It means you're an Apple fanboy.
He called and asked Flappy Bird. I don't know. Sometimes Norm's questions not exactly specific.
I don't know where this. I don't know where this.
We love you, Norm. I'm just kidding, by the way.
I don't know where this 8.1 or 8 being.
It's 8.x. There's no Windows 9 coming for at least a little bit.
No, but so the next one is Windows 9. Just like there used to be a Windows 7, and then there was a Windows 8. There used to be a 98, and then they moved to something else. So the fact that they have a new version coming out doesn't mean anything except they're having a new version coming out.
And when it's out on the market being sold, it's long past being an experiment.
Yeah,
I think what he's implying is no one adopted Windows 8, and then now they're going to come out with a new version.
Oh, that's not true
not true.
because
Well, I don't.
No,
I'm
they're-
still on 7. I know everyone I know is 7 or.
I think Metro sucks personally, but
I like
it's not
it.
a new experience.
I no. Everyone I know finally moved up to 7 from the old days from XP and whatever.
Yeah, I
And
mean
that's where we're
it's true,
stuck for a while,
especially in enterprise and even.
Okay.
Business, in business,
in
like-
in enterprise, but truly, 8. The Metro interface is you push little icons
Tiles,
instead of having a whole list of a text list.
For a telephone
But-
device, I think that it's a wonderful interface.
Yeah, for the
For
Windows
telephone.
Phone 8
But
is awesome.
for a desktop,
I agree.
no,
Really?
I can't stand
No,
I
if,
can-
i-
I'm-
if you have a touchscreen laptop, I think it makes a world
Yeah,
of
it
a
makes
difference.
a way big
I would agree with Bonnie, but I think if it's mouse, an old-fashioned desktop, going to 8 is just a death trap. I think.
Oh, I use the mouse on my desktop just because, but I did learn to use it properly on my touch screen laptop, and I can do things a lot faster. But in dumb mode, and you can use it in dumb mode, instead of having a start, you've got the little Windows icon, and you have icons for Skype and whatever, instead of having to search through a menu.
Yeah, well,
that's
I
all
mean,
it boils. Not all, but for the most case, and it works like your cell phone or any other mobile device in that whatever it is open. Like so, Skype is there, right? It's not. You don't have I can turn this off.
Yeah, I just don't use
Right?
my desktop the same way I use my tablet or my phone.
Oh,
I
okay.
interact with the devices differently.
Right.
Yeah, so do I. But I do like and when I'm using like this is a Windows 8 device, the Lenovo Yoga, and when I'm using it like this, it's like Windows 7 basically because I've actually put the start menu back.
Okay.
And that's that's the way I like it. And I got a couple other apps that customize it a little bit. And when I'm doing it that way, that's what I want. I want the start menu and if I wasn't working, 9 to 5 basically with Windows 7 every day, I probably would have
Right.
got used to the stock Windows 8 thing. But I just couldn't. I just got frustrated with it. So I went to I think it's Start 8 is the
Yeah,
company.
there's
And for like $5 they have this.
So I have Windows 8 on everything.
Yeah.
now. And so it's just used to it. And I think mobile because I'm so used to using tablets and phones.
Yeah.
And so I think differently. And now my workspace is...
Wait, did you just say you think differently?
Isn't it Think Different?
No, I think
isn't
you
that
have to pay a royalty for saying that.
That was a joke, by the way.
Yeah, who's that was IBM, wasn't it?
No, that's
Was
that's
it?
Apple.
That's Apple.
Apple.
That's what I was
Oh, holy
doing.
shit.
Think different.
No. You didn't say it. You didn't say
Well,
it
I
their
guess
way.
I don't equate Apple with Think
Oh,
Differently.
They changed the grammar.
No, me neither.
No, theirs is Think Different.
I'm sorry, I didn't
Oh.
mean to jump in like
Okay.
that.
No, that's cool. I'm going to stop saying
No,
that.
Bonnie said differently.
Yeah, you
Differently.
said differently, and I'm like, wait a second.
Oh, okay. But I
No,
don't...
no royalty infringement.
Right. So because otherwise you'd be suing them. So my workstation now, I think of it, even though I don't have a responsive screen, I think 8.1 and icons and all of that. I'm just used to it. I know where to look. I love the search, the little searchy
so
thing.
when I'm sitting down like with the computer in laptop mode and I'm doing work on it, like using OneNote or what. By the way, I love OneNote.
Yeah.
And
What, OneNote on a device?
Yeah, anybody
OneNote.
can use it.
Evernote's better than OneNote.
I disagree.
I'm a
Oh,
fan
they
of
must have
both.
upgraded it.
I'm a fan of both, but OneNote is so much better.
Yeah, it
so
is.
much better.
They must have improved it because I have
Oh, they
OneNote
have.
for the desktop, and that was a decent tool. But
I don't know.
OneNote
what
That's what I'm talking
2013.
about.
things are.
Yeah, for the desktop.
2013? Yeah, try it because it's cool.
Oh,
You can
this
do.
is probably the Office 2013.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Marcel, it's a glorified notepad.
It is.
No, not when you're.
It is,
using-
but I haven't even brushed the surface on what I can do with
no.
it. But
I think it's free. You don't
Yeah.
need Office 2013. I think you can just
well,
use
the
it
free
free.
one I downloaded sucked.
Yeah. Oh,
So, no, it's not.
I'm not a big
This was
fan
about a
of
year
the
ago, though.
the Windows 8 app. I like the actual desktop.
yeah, that's the one I
OneNote
use.
app,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
desk.
No, that's the one I use.
And I've got the Android app and I've got the iPhone app on another device, and it
So-
it works well.
Okay, so the other thing is, I follow, and I would have to look up the whatever organization it is that reports the percentage of saturation by operating system for, I guess, desktops and laptops. So it's
Yeah.
not mobile.
Yeah.
And
But the thing is that we've had this discussion before. The thing is, a lot of the people who would have bought laptops are now out of that market because, like my mom, she has a desktop and she got a free Android tablet from TELUS for subscribing to Optic TV. So she doesn't really need a desktop. She checks Facebook, she checks her email, and that's pretty much all she does on the computer.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people now that were in the past desktop or laptop computer buyers that are no longer in it, and that's why the mobile market is like exploding, and the desktop is kind of remaining the
Yeah,
same.
it used to be you have a desktop in a home and everyone would access
Yep,
it. They
because
would have
there-
that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Now
'cause there was
everyone gets a
nothing else.
tablet.
Now everyone's paying
not everyone.
$600.
So, but your mother, there's lots of people who really never did need a computer. They
No,
never needed
exactly.
to. So you take those people out of there, but the people who the 8.1 and 8 is it's mobile too, but it was mostly
it's grouped
PC.
in. It's grouped in as the PC. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not.
So 8 and 8.1, if you add them up, have a higher percentage than OS X or OS 10. I don't even know how you so when you go on and say it's a failure, then what is Apple? Because they're at 7 point something percent. They have been under double digit for 10 years.
They've always been
tell
that.
me. So no, just a minute.
Yeah.
So tell me how that's not a failure, because every time you go into a Starbucks or whatever, everybody's got some kind of Apple. So if
no, it depends. If you go in Yaletown and Kits, but if you go out, a little bit.
Okay.
Let's put it this way: if Microsoft and Apple are two of the biggest companies in the world, there's nothing that you can say that you can justify using the word failure.
No, you can't. And
Well,
here's the
okay,
reason.
but they do.
But to answer your question, there's one word that can answer your question, and that is margin.
Yeah.
Margin.
Okay.
Oh, okay, but that's got nothing to do.
It's got everything
with
to do with it. As a
why?
business, if you're selling a product, say Acer is selling a laptop, and they make $20 or $30 per laptop for an $800 device or $500 device, and Apple's selling a $1,500 product with like a 40% margin. There's a huge difference. It's all
margin's
like
a lot bigger than that, because I remember hearing
Well,
it's
okay,
like to build a phone is actually only like $30 or something. For
okay. Well,
parts
let's
and labor.
say that it is much larger than that. The bottom line is that Apple has a small market percentage, but they have like 80% of the profits in the industry.
It also
okay.
depends on where you're dividing the market, because total sales of product, Apple's outselling Microsoft. Like when it comes to all of that was just announced last week. Apple is outselling Microsoft when it comes to devices.
Is that the 25%
That's-
number?
no,
It's like everything.
No,
Like
that's
when you're
it's
talking about-
including iOS. It's including iPads.
Yeah,
it's
you
it's
can't
including that.
do that. You can't. That's the 25% number. You can't complain. You can't compare apples and Windows.
Yeah, apples and oranges.
because
Windows has
it was iPads and it was everything they do versus one operating system. You can't do that. Even I know that's wonky numbers.
I think that to a certain degree you have to factor that in, that some of the market for PCs has shrinked because of the iPad.
iPad was first, absolutely, but they're losing share
First to be
to
successful.
Android tablets.
Yep,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
true.
Right?
It's true. They're
So-
they're losing market share, but what the thing is like you could like Ian compared it to the car industry once when he was here. He said that does Mercedes care that they're losing share to Kia? They don't care. They're not going after those customers. Their customers are
But this is where Google's
ones-
doing an end round on both of them because they've got their
Yeah.
Chromebook coming out in
Yeah.
another 10 years. That's going to be evolved enough. The technology is going to be evolved enough where suddenly Microsoft and Apple have this competitor in areas that they don't.
Well, yeah,
enable.
Google in the Android equation. Google's definitely the winner because they get the search data. They make the money on the back end. They own the
They're
store.
doing what Microsoft tried to do when they had that lawsuit with IE, bundling it with the operating system.
Yeah.
Android is basically building a computer from the website back to.
And that's why Samsung wants to get into their own
Yep.
OS so they can control the store.
And that's like
Just like Amazon.
because they wanted to cut. They were customizing stuff on their own stuff, and they got into a suit
Yep.
where they had to back off on customized search, customized stuff that was.
What is it called? Tizen?
Yeah, the new one is
Tizen.
called Tizen. So
Which is a joint venture with Samsung and Toshiba and a few others.
So the other question I have about Apple is, except for their mobile devices, they don't have any kind of touch screen. So is that a big deal? Microsoft is so far ahead of them in terms
don't know
of
about
a
that.
touch
I think
screen.
Apple's
No.
biggest problem is they don't really have any vision for what's next, or at
Not
least
anymore.
We don't have any
Well,
clue that they have any
No, I
vision.
mean, I don't know. Like
That's
the
that's
track,
why they're thinking about buying the Tesla.
the trackpad. Look, the
What, so they can
The
ride
electric
off
cars.
into the sunset?
all right.
What was it, James?
No, nothing. It's just like I was just gonna say, like the trackpad and the way that you use the interface on a Mac computer. It's just you don't need a touch screen. Like if you like
I hate
on
trackpads personally.
on an actual laptop though. Like I'm talking like a MacBook Pro, right?
Valerie just
Like-
got a MacBook Pro and you know I was
You know,
playing with it and I
three-fingered
I
swipe.
went on a site and I tried to I'm like oh
Yeah, you
no,
can't.
I'm used to it now. Once you're
Yeah.
used to it,
Okay, once you're used to it, but I'm
It's-
talking about like if you're just buying a straight up laptop, like the two laptops.
yeah,
I,
but
I
I mean,
don't know.
Aren't they all default touchscreen now? Pretty much every laptop you get now is.
all the
Uh,
Windows ones are
the Windows
coming out,
ones
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
all the latest ones.
So
So once you're used to it, once you have that and you're used to it,
Just
and
buy an iPad.
no, it's not.
no.
It's not,
because
Are you kidding? That's the worst
I'm
possible.
just being silly. Nobody's actually taking me seriously. Okay, I said Flappy Bird an hour ago. You think anybody listens to what I have
Okay,
to
but
say?
I just asked the question because right now I've had a tablet for so long that before I got my touchscreen laptop, I had fingerprints all over every single display that I had because it's just part of the way that I interface with the computer. And you touch
Yeah.
the damn screen and nothing
You're,
happens.
you're talking about every parent's problem right now.
But
with
here's
the
what's
TV
gonna
at
happen.
home because
But
they're
I'm
all the
old.
kids are going out there going, "Why can't I touch this?"
here's what's going to happen though. Like in
Smart
in about
TVs.
2 years, Apple's going to come out with a touchscreen Mac, and everyone's going to go, "Holy crap! It's
No,
revolutionary!"
you know what's
Yeah.
going to happen? I'll save you that. You want to know what's going to happen? The Steam Mini PC is going to come out.
While they're merging.
All the you know the Android mini controllers and stuff like that will become popular.
No, they're
Nobody's
just
going to run an actual operating
that's just
system.
competition.
the long.
Wait,
It'll just be
are
a
we
thing
talking-
you plug into the side of your TV. It'll be giant, and then you can put it to your
Oh shit!
phone.
I'm in trouble
and
because I don't have a
there
TV.
you go.
The
Does it-
long
does
term,
it run on
That's
the
the
long term
long-term,
is
not 2
to
years,
merge
but-
the Mac with iOS.
And-
I saw that.
And it'll run on Steam?
Well, no, Steam will be for games. Like it's just a penetration of the market.
Will the
Steam
games
Okay,
already
so,
has its operating system that
I
runs
think-
Windows operating stuff. and
I think we should wrap up the show. I just want to close off the show with an update for people who are interested in podcasting and the whole podcast troll thing.
Flappy
Remember the podcast
Oh
troll?
yeah, I am actually very interested in this.
Yeah, so Personal Audio LLC, they were granted a
Right.
podcast for a very vague description of podcasting, which is episodic media distributed over the internet. It's not the first time a podcast or a patent was granted for this. Volo Media several years ago was also given the same patent. But Volo Media, everyone freaked out. Oh my God, what are they going to do? They didn't do anything. They said they want to use the patent to further the benefits of podcasting. Blah blah blah. Personal Audio LLC didn't take that turn. They're suing everybody. They're suing all the best podcasters out there, trying to get royalties for something that they never really invented. Basically, what they used to do back in the day is offer a service where they would record something for you, a radio show, let's say, that you like to listen to but can't, and they would mail it to you. And that's where the technology came from, is
Wow.
episodic media distributed. And then they got the patent for doing that over the internet, and now they're claiming that they own podcasting. Anyways, the Electronic Freedom Foundation tried to stop them, and they chose, instead of suing them in court, to go directly to the patent office and challenge the validity of the patent. So what they did is they raised money, crowdsourced it from the podcasting community, and ended up raising, I think it was more than double what they needed to do this. And they asked for prior art, because this patent was from 1996. They wanted prior art proving that this idea was not new, and they got tons of stuff. So now they're going after these guys, but Personal Audio LLC is actually putting in a petition, or whatever you call it, to the government. They want the names of everybody who's donated to the electronic. And they're saying that they need that for whatever reason, so they can intimidate the people that. So this, to me, is like a big thing, right? Because if you can't anonymously donate money to a cause without being worried about being harassed by the company that you're potentially, coming up against, I think that's a big.
Well, the reason why they're asking is because if a lot of the donors are people that they're going after themselves, they can argue that, what they're doing is just not cool from a legal standpoint, right? Yes. That you can't pay to derail me trying to come after you.
Why not?
But it's but it's garbage, because they're just trying to take credit for a bunch of other people's work. Like, there's a lot of podcasters they're going after, like Mark Maron and whatnot, who are trailblazers, and they weren't trailblazers. They did nothing except sit there and decide, wait, we can totally sue a bunch of people over something that vaguely sounds.
The thing that's scary about this is that they've done this in the past. They have patents for playlists, and they've sued Apple, and Apple lost and ended up paying millions and millions of dollars. So they have a war chest. Yeah. They can afford to do this. So it's interesting. So we'll see how.
The takeaway in business is get big enough so you can sue people to make your revenue.
And the problem is that if you're a podcaster, say I'm not saying that he's doing this, but he's one of the ones that are being sued. It's Adam Carolla. He's making enough money from his podcast that he might just I'm not saying he's going to do that, because he's actually, I don't think he is. I think he's just going to fight it. But the problem is that it's tempting just to say, okay, well, they only want this for royalty. I'm making 10 times that much. It's bullshit. They shouldn't be getting anything. But it's going to cost me $500,000 to fight this in court. Yep. Here's the money.
So can you fight it with brains baffles bullshit, and in fact change the way you podcast using new technology that doesn't infringe on their patent? Is that
the thing is
naive question?
But the way that they've worded this patent is it's episodic media distributed over the internet. So if you
were just how come that's going to be hard?
Wait, so rename your show every week, maybe.
How come Netflix isn't in on this then? Because if it's episodic content over the media, that means it's more than just podcasts.
Yeah, they're delivering exactly that.
Yeah. So they could be YouTube, but there's no RSS feed. There's no subscription that automatically delivers the episode.
You're paying a monthly
fee.
No, but there's no.
Thanks for throwing Netflix under the bus.
By subscription, what I mean is
the
whole patent involves just automatically sending you the new content.
Oh, so all you got to do
so
is
Netflix doesn't do that.
RSS.
Yeah, just tell people.
YouTube kind of does that.
It's more like YouTube doesn't do that either.
Well, they send you updates. This is what's playing on YouTube this week.
They'll send you an email or a notification of it, but they don't actually send you an audio file. They don't actually send.
You don't do that with podcasts, anyways.
Yep. Yeah. So
you send. I just download podcasts when I want to.
Yeah, but if you subscribe to the Bunker Show, whenever there's one released, it gets pushed to you.
That I've been here and I haven't subscribed.
Or if you subscribe to any show, it gets pushed to you, right?
Yeah, on
so
iTunes,
that's the whole concept.
Well, isn't it just iTunes?
But But I mean, they're in the right place at the right time if they win, because podcasting is
Huge.
is huge now. Stone Cold Steve Austin started a podcast, huge. Chris Jericho, another WWE wrestler, started a podcast, huge.
He's Canadian.
The WWE now,
Yeah.
Took notice, and they're starting their own podcast
Dude, they have their
to
own
promote
channel.
WrestleMania. Yeah, but they got their own channel, but
They've
they're
had
paying.
their own YouTube channel for 4 years.
No, sure, they've got their own YouTube channel, but
They were
and
one of the first.
and they're on all the major networks, but they're paying for the airtime. But the power of podcasting is that they can develop a huge following because they got the brand.
They already have a huge following.
No, but
WWE is
no,
a
but
bigger
they can
social
send
media
programming.
following
They
than
can send
anything.
programming through a podcast feed
they
without
can
having to
send
pay
it
anything.
through their app called the WDE app that
That's
has
it.
that
It's-
even shows
sure.
stuff that's going on when
Absolutely.
they go to commercial,
This
which
is
is
with
even
video.
amazing.
It's another.
It's amazing.
It's another channel for them. is
So
what I'm
I think the
saying.
podcasters should wrestle these patent trolls. Seriously.
That
I think
reminds
so
me
too,
of
yeah.
what is it? The game or something is going to fight that. Never mind. Let's not bring that up. Anyway,
So Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast.
I know what you
He's
were gonna bring up,
partnered
and
with
we should have.
a new company called Podcast One, which is it's a website that
That was
curates podcasts, takes all
Okay.
like the creme
Yep.
of the creme de la creme of
Wow.
podcasts, and they're also developing their own shows like from scratch, high quality, well produced shows. Because if they own the inventory, obviously when they
want
go
the
to
Macho
the
Man podcast.
to the advertisers, they make 100% of the revenue. But what is interesting is that Podcast One is actually owned by the same guy that founded Westwood One, like 30, 40 years ago, when radio was more like it's not like what is now, where it's owned by a few major conglomerate companies. They were all individual radio stations. Just like podcasting, it's all individual podcasters. There's thousands and thousands of us out there. And now that podcasting is sort of hitting the mainstream, Podcast One wants to do the same thing that Westwood One did with radio, which is attract the Fortune 500 advertisers to come in and sponsor podcasts and put
But
big money into
they would
podcasting.
be part of this lawsuit then, or
Yes.
would it be? So because they're distributing it.
They would
So-
anybody who is distributing episodic content over the internet could potentially
through
be,
an RSS.
and
Right?
it's like that. It's like that other company that's suing coffee shops owned by mom and pa
Yeah.
who have Wi-Fi. They're not going after Starbucks yet. They're going after the little guys.
What?
Yeah.
They're saying they own Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
They own the concept of distributing the internet over the air.
That's okay.
They have a patent on it. See, the thing is, the patents get
Yeah.
Wait,
the patents
this
get
is all
granted.
stuff from the U.S.
The
right?
patents get granted, right? And then yes, it is in the U.S. The patents get
Didn't you
granted,
get
but
an international.
they
patent?
they have to be defended. They have to be. It doesn't mean that they're valid. They have to be proven in court, right? So it's good for the lawyers, and that's about it.
So it would be
I should have
blog
been a lawyer.
Blog Talk Radio 2 would be part of this lawsuit
Yes,
because that's RSS.
Yeah, because
Yes.
their argument is that they
So it
initiated this technology, so it's prevalent everywhere. So everyone and
Wow.
anyone who does.
Wait, so it has to be
uses-
delivered to you. You can't just download it.
It's like whoever.
it can't be. It's not referring to audio on the internet or video on the internet. It has to be a chain of like episodic content.
So
Okay.
It's like
bunker,
having
with
to
the
pay.
bunker
It's
app,
like having to pay the ballpoint pen inventor.
No, I think I know where James is going with this. Even if you don't push it to them,
yeah.
even if they download
So like
it
my
themselves.
bunker app, right? Like
Yeah.
every time it updates from you putting up a new show on YouTube or
But
whatever,
but
and it pushes it content to the person, and then they go watch it. Would that count as this episode
yeah,
of content?
it counts because
Wow.
it's pushing a notification.
See, that's fucking stupid.
Even if the listener
like a patent
downloads
on
it
getting
without being
around.
pushed, it's still considered
Wow.
episodic distribution.
Don't worry, we're not going to get sued. We don't have.
I'm
that
not
many
talking about us getting sued. I'm just showing how stupid this is.
It's
Yes,
like
I
Apple
agree.
Getting that patent one on the rounded
Corners.
and there's
That's just
there's
ridiculous. That should not.
I'm not sure. I haven't
there
followed
some
up on
sort
it
of
and
thing?
to see what had happened, but there was a private members bill in the States.
Yeah, they're trying to dissolve
Uh,
the patents.
No, what they're doing is they're trying to do what they've done in the UK, which is if a patent troll comes after you and sues you for violation of the patent, if you're found not guilty of that violation, they have to pay all your fees.
Yeah, that's right. That's what the UK
right
does.
now, it's not. It's not that way at
So
all.
I thought that the best way to deal with the troll was to tell them the answer to their question 3 that they give you when you're crossing the bridge.
What?
You know, the troll under the bridge, right? He comes up and he goes, if you answer my question 3, I will give you my gold and you can go by.
Or you just have to say, is that an African swallow or a European swallow?
Yeah.
I like the idea of them paying your lawyers, though, because that just makes
because
it fair.
then they have to think, okay, is it worth doing this? Because right now
Then they don't go after the tiny guys, yeah.
no, they go after the people they know will buckle, right? And then they get a couple victories, and then they have a precedent that they can bring to court, and then we got all these people paying, or it just adds credibility to their scam.
Yeah.
So, anyways, my computer just powered off, so I'm not going to play the outro music, but
And no gaming with James.
I'll add it in post production.
That's good because I patented the outro music and I was totally going to sue your ass.
Yeah, we're going to sue your ass. So, speaking of, just quickly, because we said we were going to talk about Flappy Bird, we might as well just talk about it really quickly. After the guy took it down, there was over
let's
1,000. What, you want to sing the Game of James?
Yeah,
song?
you can do the. Do it.
What am I doing? What?
Game with James.
I don't know the new theme song. The old one's way better.
There's only ever been one Gaming with James.
Why would you guys count on me to sing? Y'all?
Okay.
Okay, anyways,
Gaming with James.
After Flappy Bird came out, there was over 1,000 imitations.
Yeah.
Flappy Bird is a stupid little red bird that you tap on your screen and try to get him to go through.
Sometimes he's green or blue.
Ooh.
Okay.
Depending on which one you play. Anyways.
No, it's 3 different colors in the actual Flappy Bird game itself.
Okay.
Not that you can download it to prove it, but I have it on my phone.
So
hey, wait a minute. You have it on your phone?
Ooh, that's worth $1,000.
$1,000.
Well, it's not worth $1,000 technically. It just depends on if you're crazy.
Put it on
enough.
eBay.
The quality of my
eBay
phone probably
has
just completely...
Doesn't matter. You got Flappy Birds.
That worked for the first 2 days. eBay is no longer taking that. They don't think
too
that's a
bad.
good idea. But it was kind of interesting because it was like, well, if people care about Flappy Bird so much, what about older video games? But I guess nobody cares.
Mario.
I think the real story though is that the guy
He took it
pulled
down.
it down.
Yeah.
Even though he could have made like
He was getting
$20,000-$30,000 a day.
No,
in ads.
he was making $50,000 a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
he
why
pulled
did
it.
he take it down?
He pulled it down. He said because it was too addictive, and he designed a game. This is what I read.
Yeah.
He designed a game that would be good for killing time, a few minutes here and there, and people were playing it for hours and hours and couldn't stop playing
It
it.
wasn't- yeah.
And
Well-
he said that it was doing harm, and so
he's never
pulled it.
officially said that. That was his
no,
Twitter.
I've read several interviews with him, and it really seemed like all the media attention.
Got
Like,
to
I
him.
think he's not super greedy. I bet he has enough money to sit around and
He's
do nothing
from
for a while.
Vietnam.
But it seems like what happened is he got so much attention, and a lot of it was negative. There's a lot of like Flappy Bird
there
in
was
my life.
so much
But it was
negative
in kind of in a fun way. But it was like
No,
fuck,
it
fuck
wasn't.
you, Flappy Bird. But it really stressed him out. I think it really just stressed him
Yeah,
out.
when
Yeah, he
you
said
know
his
it-
life was better before.
Yeah.
It was
That
better.
his game
Like,
became
you read-
almost like a mean-spirited meme.
No, you look at like
But you
what
were
people,
nobody before that.
No, he wasn't a nobody. He's still making games. People started to accuse him because he launched Flappy Bird in May of last year. It didn't catch traction until a guy by the name of PewDiePie put it on his YouTube channel. He's the largest. You laugh, but he is the largest subscriber of
Well,
people
I also think
on
BuzzFeed
YouTube.
covering it
So-
also really shot
but
it up there.
There's other things like that. There's PewDiePie. There's a bunch of other people saying that there was a competition for people to write the worst awesome review of the game. Like he got something like 426 reviews a day, which pushed him up, and then people's like things like that, and they're still giving him 5 stars, but they're like, I hate this game, but you had to say it in the nicest way possible. It was kind of a weird reverse, like
Fake reviews.
reviews. Well, it wasn't fake reviews. People were serious about this, but they liked the game enough and wanted people to try it as a troll. It's almost kind of like a troll
Well,
thing, a little bit.
in a matter of 3 weeks, it was on T-shirts. It was a meme.
That's the thing, it, like, took
websites
off.
were like writing articles about the ridiculousness of it. I think he just wasn't ready for that level of attention in his life. Like it got real.
So
and
do
he
you
got
don't
scared.
think? So he said that in his tweet that it wasn't for legal reasons, but you don't think it was
No,
because
Nintendo said they were never going to touch him.
okay.
Nintendo said they were never going to touch him because there's nothing to touch. I mean, people use the Mario coin sound on their phones all the time now, and like
But it was the
a
pipe-
green
it
pipe.
was those
So
green
what's a
pipes.
green pipe?
Well, on the
Like,
bird looks vaguely
Well,
like
Apple
that
would
fish,
have
but
gone
who
after
cares?
them.
Yeah, I guess I can guess. You could kind of say that, but I mean, the guy's from Vietnam, right? Like,
So
he's
what does that matter?
Well, the amount of $50,000 like there compared to here, quite a big difference per day. Like he's set for life.
Well, I think anyone's
He
set
is
for life
set-
at 50,000 a day.
Yeah, but like literally, like he's set.
Well, that's the
for
thing. I
life.
think like he made his money,
He
and
got
I think he
so
liked
many-
being a quiet game developer.
He liked being a game developer.
Yeah,
He
just
didn't
a
mind
quiet
making
one.
money.
Yeah.
But when people are telling you, "I want to kill you because you made this game," I think that could get to you. There's
Yeah.
another like
But
big-
people-
Again, you are in Vietnam. Nobody's gonna go from the states to go kill you.
there
I'll
was
hunt you
tons
down.
of people
Really.
saying that.
Well,
though.
people
I don't
said
know,
that.
the
After,
States
people
did
said
that
that when he
one.
pulled the game. They
They
said
said we're
They
going to
did.
kill you because you pulled the game.
we'll hunt you down and kill you.
February 9th.
If I were making $50,000 and I didn't have any issues growing up at
A
childhood
day.
issues like he did, I would go to Switzerland and frickin' make the $50,000. Give me a
What do you
frickin'
mean
break.
childhood issues?
He seems like he's got issues. He needs to go see a shrink.
He
Well,
liked being
no.
simple game developer. He liked making something that was
attention.
A lot,
Okay,
a lot of
you
people.
created a game and now you're worried that some people are addicted to it and using it too much.
Yeah, but a lot of people create a lot of
That's
different
the
things.
thing,
But when
like,
you
you
shoot
don't-
up into borderline mainstream and you're getting all sorts of attention that you didn't quite expect, some people aren't ready for fame or quote fingers fame.
There's-
Some people just don't have it in them.
It's
to
like
deal with
winning
that
the
kind of
lottery.
pressure.
90% of the people who win it a year later are worse off than they were.
yeah. Like the other thing is like this is very common in the games industry right now, and it's kind of sad. It's like this
Well,
level
I-
of fame that gets risen up. Like these people.
I know some people that get one negative tweet from somebody,
yeah, and then have it.
and they're heartbroken, and they're just like,
Stop
can't believe that
talking
someone would say
about
that.
me, Andrew.
So imagine
Stop
if you start getting hundreds.
Yeah.
hundreds
from
of
somebody and you're just like,
thousands. Hundreds
really?
of like this guy had like he went to 100,000 followers in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks on Twitter. People being like, "I'm gonna break my phone. You're an asshole. Why did you create this game?" All this stuff. Like the guy just was making like it was probably just a test. People started accusing him of using bots. People started dissecting it. They started calling it cheating. But when they do it, they call it growth hacking. It's like, which one is it? Is it growth hacking or is it cheating? And there was like the whole like, well, is this the Eastern way versus Western way and that kind of stuff? Did he use bots? You show look at his spikes and in the way that it was done. I think it doesn't look too scary. It looks like it just caught a wave. I mean, how do you
It was
explain
just a thing. Sometimes something happens and it just shoots up and becomes part of the
I
zeitgeist.
still claim
it
that
just magically did.
I still think it started off with PewDiePie.
I've
think
been
that's
waiting for
exactly
like
what it
4 years for the Bunker Project to
Yeah,
do
to
that.
just go viral. Yeah,
is. See, but
don't
but
don't shut it down when you start making 50,000 a day.
Yeah, 50,000 a day. That's still pretty ridiculous. That's just Apple though. That was
Everybody's
including
drinking too much black
Android.
beer. I have to shut it down.
So all these people ended up making.
yeah, damn you, Andrew.
So
We're
now-
having too much fun.
So now Apple and Samsung have banned any apps, or at
Called-
least tell them
yeah.
to go away that have the word Flappy in them.
Yep.
That was actually where I was going to get to because that was 10 minutes ago. But that's the whole podcasting thing. Yeah, they just don't want anything Flappy.
I would have
Flappy
just
bird,
hired
Flappy
somebody
fish,
to
Flappy
deal
whatever.
with it.
Now there's games called Flappy Space where you're trying to get all your
Yeah,
Flappy
because
birds
when
in
I first heard about the
space.
story, I'm like, okay,
Check
I'll
out
try that
Iron
game, and I went to
Pants. Iron
download it.
Pants
and
is a good ripoff. Iron Pants.
I couldn't find it, and then I looked it up, and I said, oh, he pulled it.
He pulled it because
Yeah.
he just didn't care. Well, I mean, he cares, but
He cares too much, maybe.
I kind of
People
agree
need
with him.
to get a life.
Have you played it, Sanj? Play it and then tell me that.
Sure.
Hey, you know
It
what?
will destroy
Hey,
you.
you know what? You know what I think it is?
I didn't care
think
for
this
Angry
is-
Birds. I don't care for Flappy
It's
Birds.
a
I got better
big,
things to do with
big-
my time.
It's a big marketing scam because what he did is he pulled it because he's going to get way more attention, and now he's coming out with Flappy
Something
Birds
bird-
2.
No,
There you go. I know people who
but
are
he
crazy
does
about
still
Candy
make
Crush.
he does still make all the money off the ads that still are currently in this version.
Yeah.
but nobody else can download it, right?
That makes it rare.
Okay, but how many 100,000 million people already have it on their phone?
That's
Good
the
point.
question, right? How many people do
Hey,
have
James,
it on the
I
phone?
heard
but you can
Candy Crush is doing an
technically take
IPO.
that and
Can-
copy
oh,
it.
go-
Oh,
yeah,
let's
that's a
talk
good
about
one.
the Candy
Let's
Crush
talk-
thing.
yeah,
that's a good idea to talk about.
That's a good
Sorry.
one too.
I was playing Flappy Bird. That's why I was talking so loud.
Yeah, see, I got Flappy Bird on my phone now too. Suck it, Sanj. You're not cool enough to play games.
Like we're in serious overtime. So what is this Candy Crush?
So
What are we
Candy
talking-
Crush King is trying to sue anybody that uses or trying to claim trademark on or copyright. Is it copyright?
Oh, this was weeks ago. What we should talk about is the fact they're going public.
Oh, I was gonna.
Oh,
say
you
that
take the
they're-
bird through pipes.
I was gonna say they're trying to basically get the word candy.
Oh, that was weeks ago. Let's talk about them going public.
That's the whole
cool.
story.
Okay, well, King.com's going public. 961.
What do you mean they're trying to get the word candy?
They are.
Do you know how many strippers already have that word?
See what? You should totally talk about that. Anyways, that's it. Candy Crush, Candy Saga. They're trying to get the words Candy Crush Saga. There's a guy that made a game called Candy something or other, and he is getting sued by them.
Cool.
So it's sad because he made it for his dying wife.
Or
Or is it? No, it was his mom. That's what it was. His mom was sad. So he made it first. They completely stole it. Now they're suing him. Kind of like those patent trolls.
Yeah, so James, how can they find out about this show?
Oh, you can go to our website, uncensoredsocialunderground.com.
Why aren't you guys at like
Follow us on
thebunkerproject.com? Like legit.
We should have, but it was a great idea
You can
to
tweet
have
to us.
uncensoredsocialunderground.com.
Yeah, you can tweet to us at Bunker Live, or you can call us at our phone number, which is
1-877-636-1474. It's a toll-free number. You don't pay anything, even if you're in China. And we haven't had anyone call from China yet. So
And if
give
you'd
us a
like
call.
our voicemail to be played, you totally can. And if you have any hate mail, please send it to marcellapoint@gmail.com.
But not too many because we'll shut down the show.
Anyways, do we have a sponsor anymore?
Okanagan Springs Brewmaster Black.
Thank you to Okanagan Springs. We love you.
We always have.
Yeah, stay safe and keep it bunkered.
Same. We'll see you again in a couple weeks. Same bunker channel. Same RSS feed unless we get shut down by the patent troll.
And remember, if you can't go outside, get in the bunker.
So he rivaled you for deep thinking.
If you can't get outside,
I
get in the
know.
bunker.